Hi friends, and welcome to Module 9, which focuses on poetry. And I just have to start by saying this was really challenging to put together because there are so many great things you can do with poetry and so many great poems and types of poems. It was painful. But I did my best, and it took me forever, so I don't want to hear you complaining about how long it takes you to do stuff for this class. Just think of what it's like on this side of the table. All right, so the first thing you're going to do is download the response sheet, which will walk you through the activities for the night. Before you start, I'd like you to think about how you define poetry. I have a little Padlet here, so if you click on that link, it'll take you here. And I think we've used the Padlet before, but if not, you can click on the little plus sign that will open a text box. If you don't have an account with Padlet, which I recommend, it's a cool little site and it's free, but type your name so I know who you are, and then write what you think poetry is. And then we're going to come back to this at the end of the module, and I'd like you to write your next definition of poetry. If you can get into the same text box, I don't know if you can. If you can, go ahead and add your new definition. If not, just create a new one. So that's that. And what's neat about this is then you'll be able to see what everybody else has posted too, and you can, of course, take ideas from other people. So now you're going to read chapter 4 in the textbook here, which is obviously about poetry. And I want you to know that as you're reading the chapter, there's a section called Profiles where they highlight different award-winning poets. They've won the National Council of Teachers of English Award in poetry because they write poetry for children. So as you're going through the chapter, kind of attend to them because you're going to pick one of those poets to do a little kind of focused blog on. So as you're going through the chapter, they're going to talk about poems that use words in different ways as patterns, pictures, and sound, and do narrative poems, look at some terms, and then here's where you're going to dig into the background of a poet. I looked at Nikki Grimes, and I just want to say I loved her blog. She has a blog here called Nikki Sounds Off, and this was a particularly good one. She posted a couple years ago, but it's absolutely relevant today. So just take a minute and check her out. And if you want to do her, you can, or you can pick somebody else. The idea is when you get into the background of a poet, that will give you some insight into their poetry. And I found this very powerful when I was teaching. I did a big unit on Edgar Allan Poe, and kids listened to a half-hour discussion about his background and had made a deeper connection with his poetry based on his tragic life. And then when they wrote their own poetry notebooks, they shared insights about themselves that they learned about themselves or that we could learn by reading their poetry. It was really cool. So this is a significant one. I want to make sure you get it. Okay, then you're going to look at poetry workstations. There's a video posted called Poetry Workstations, which a teacher walks you through some different things she does with her kids electronically in poetry. So look through that, and you're going to come up with 4 different workstations that you would do for teaching poetry. One needs to be electronic, one needs to be teacher guided, and the other 2 are optional, up to you. So you have in this folder a resource folder for teaching poetry with some different links with great ideas. Also, the chapter, of course, has a lot of great ideas and activities for teaching poetry, so there's plenty of sources there. So create 4 and just list, kind of describe what it would be, and a hands-on lesson that would accompany each station. Then now I want you to rethink, why would it be valuable to teach poetry? And why would that be significant? What are some best approaches for teaching it? And then finally go back to the Padlet and post an updated definition. Now this should take you a little less time this week because I wanted to give you time to work on your family literacy backpack. You're going to create a little video tour of your backpack, 3-4 minutes long at the most, where you're going to walk us through the backpack and post that. If you go to the assignment section and the family literacy theme backpack assignment, here's a blog where you're going to post the link for your video. Make sure you state the theme and age group and then why you selected that theme. Show us the 3 books that accompany and the activities that accompany them that you chose to go for your backpack. Show us a response journal and your family's response. Include the artifact. And then describe the feedback you received and what you would revise if you were going to use this in the classroom. Also make sure to post the 2 feedback forms. If you had somebody handwrite, you can just scan those and upload them here so I can see them. And you're going to watch and comment on at least 2 other people's postings. Now, this is a really cool assignment, so my recommendation is you just look through everybody so you get a sense of what they did. I would take notes because this is definitely something you could use in your classroom, and it's a very cool project. All right, also I need you to sign up for the author study assignment. These 6 people have already done it, so those authors are taken. If you go to discussions and the discussion board there, when you go to create a thread, put the name of the author in your thread, and then if you're the one posting, tell me the name of the other person, your partner that you're working with, so I know what 2 people are working on that with that author. And then finally, for the reader response blogs, you should have 7 of these blogs completed by now. There's only 1 left to do. The last one is the one on the Informational Common Core Exemplar textbook, so it's an informational text, and it's a Common Core Exemplar, which means Common Core has posted sample books that they think are complex that we can use in the classroom to give our kids opportunities to read complex text. This is not due until we get to Module 12. I want you to know that based on the feedback I got from your surveys, we've done enough of these discussions, so I don't think you have to meet in your discussion group for this one. You can if you want, especially if you're having trouble trying to figure out lessons to go with it, but your group does not have to meet and discuss it. That being the case, if you'd like to just go ahead and find your Common Core book, read it, and post your final blog, that's fine. If not, you can wait. I am kind of working my way through these and getting updated on the grading, so if you don't have your 7 posted by now, please get them up there ASAP. Finally, I wanted to comment on the surveys. One of the comments I got was the amount of time you're spending in this class, and I just wanted to let you know how I think about that. This is a 4-unit class. If we were to meet face-to-face, we would meet 3 hours every week. And as a 4-unit class, that means there should be 60 hours of seat time. So this class is designed to have about 3 hours of kind of class instruction where you should be following through and going through your blogs, and then an extra 2 hours a week or so for doing the assignments. So if you're doing 5 or 6 hours a week for this class, that actually is about right, and that's what you would do if we're meeting face-to-face. If it feels like too long on the computer, go ahead and break it up so you're not just sitting down at one time to do all the work. So you guys have a great week, and feel free to contact me if you have any questions.